We're so done with new year, new you. This year, it's more you on Bumble. More of you shamelessly sending playlists, especially that one filled with show tunes. More of you finding Geminis because you know you always like them. More of you dating with intention because you know what you want. And you know what? We love that for you. Someone else will too. Be more you this year and find them on Bumble.
This is Optimal Work Daily. Kevin Smith's advice on content contradicts everything you've ever read, by Margo Aaron of ThatSeemsImportant.com. Usually, when you have a celebrity at a niche conference, it's the event organizer's way of apologizing for the lack of good content. Don't come for the marketing stuff, come see Mandy Moore. #facepalm. That's how I felt about Kevin Smith, who was the keynote at Converted this week. Turns out, I was wrong. At 4:45 p.m., he steps on stage for a Q&A with LeadPage's founder Clay Collins, dressed as if he was in character. Clay asks one question, and what happened next changed the entire conference. Smith didn't answer the question. Instead, he launches into the world's greatest 45-minute diatribe on content creation. Quote, "Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you the patron king of failure. I've been failing upwards my entire career. Don't be afraid of it. Failure is success training. I know it sounds like a f***ing cat poster, but it's true. It leads you to the next thing." End quote. We're off to a good start. Whether you agree or not, you're entertained. We have no idea where he's going with this. The question was about monetization. He goes on, quote, "You create because you want to, not because someone will write you a check." End quote. Hold the phone. For most of us, creating is quite literally for a check. Content is a euphemism for sales vehicle. The only reason it has to add value is because it doesn't convert to sales if it's not valuable to your prospects. Email content equals direct sales. Video content equals goes to sales page. Web blog content equals improves SEO, allows you to do content upgrades, place to put your affiliate links. Social media content equals jab, 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 right hook. The content marketing mantra is, it's all about the customer. Know your customer. Figure out what they want. Use their language. Reverse engineer your content strategy based on what the customer needs. Pick up the phone and talk to your customers. It's our Bible. Kevin Smith got on stage and said, "Do it for yourself first and foremost." Mic drop. The battle between content as self-expression and content as a sales tool is as old as the internet itself. Smith told the audience, quote, "Anyone who's tried to outwit the general public and game the system with, no, my data says this, knows it doesn't work. You can't guarantee success. Creation is mastery. Think about pleasing yourself first. In the end, if no one connects with your content the way you connect with it, you haven't wasted your time. The audience of one was satisfied." End quote. My first reaction to this was that this is a terrible way to think about content that converts, and a brilliant way to think about art. Knowing where one ends and the other begins is where most of us get stuck, and what I can't stop thinking about while I'm stuck here at the Minneapolis airport. In the Hollywood world Smith comes from, there's a clear separation between church and state. Artists create, marketers sell. Unfortunately for us, content blurs the line between the two, and most of us are confused as to which camp we fall in. I'm no exception. The best performing pieces of content I've ever created came from the same selfish place Kevin Smith was talking about. I did them for me. They were topics I cared about or rants I wanted to go off on for no justifiable reason other than I felt like it needed to be said. It's not a strategy I would advise to clients, especially since it's also responsible for my worst performing pieces. It's hard to put something out there if you're an artist trying to self-express. It's also why it's so freaking hard to write your own about page. Sales copy is not where you reveal your soul and write the piece that wins you the Pulitzer. You may very well reveal parts of your story, vulnerability, in your sales copy, but that's not self-expression. If you're struggling with shipping your content, it's probably because of this. You're confusing content as self-expression with content as sales, and it's killing everything that makes your content good. What marketers mean when we say, "It's not about you, it's about your customers," is, don't be so self-involved. That's very different from following your insatiable need to create something in the world. Self-involved means blasting a newsletter to your list about upcoming events and never considering what it feels like to be on the receiving end of a Facebook ad. Selfishly creating something you believe needs to exist is not actually selfish, it's a gift, like a song or a movie. It's actually perfect for content because it spreads. Clay asked Smith how he could be so confident. If you exist in the online business content churning world, you know how hard it is to keep your head on straight. Without missing a beat, Smith clarified, quote, "It's not confidence, it's fear. The fear of, if I don't try this, will I be able to live with myself? Do you think you could live being the guy who didn't build the thing?" End quote. We certainly couldn't. You just listened to the post titled, "Kevin Smith's Advice on Content Contradicts Everything You've Ever Read" by Margo Aaron of thatseemsimportant.com. We're driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search. Match with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging. 93% of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites. One of the things I love about Indeed is that it makes hiring all in one place so easy because Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences. So the more you use Indeed, the better it gets. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/startup. Just go to Indeed.com/startup right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/startup. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. You might say all kinds of stuff when things go wrong, but these are the words you really need to remember. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. They've got options to fit your unique insurance needs, meaning you can talk to your agent to choose the coverage you need, have coverage options to protect the things you value most, file a claim right on the State Farm mobile app, and even reach a real person when you need to talk to someone. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And thanks to Margo for letting us share this post today. In her quest to answer the question, how do you get people to care, and not finding the answers in her job, Margo set about learning all that she could about persuasion, influence, direct response, copywriting, branding, and other buzzwords, and eventually started her own business. And while she was making money, she still wasn't getting people to actually care, so she started writing about her experiences, and she gained quite a following in the process. Today, Margo is the co-host of the popular internet talk show Hillary and Margo Yell at Websites, and her own website, That Seems Important, was named one of the top 100 websites for writers. So come check it out at thatseemsimportant.com, and I have that linked for you in this episode's description. And that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for being here on this Friday edition of the show. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm going to see you back here over the weekend, where your optimal life awaits.